So, do you have some tips for college students who don't really have actual industry experience except a few open source and personal projects looking for their first job? Yes, understand. Well, boy, I have so much advice. I hope you can replay this on Twitch later or on YouTube. Um, this is going to be a long list. Here we go. Number one, try and get internships. Number two, if you can't do that, work inside the school somewhere as a part of a club or anything else that looks like experience, community volunteering. Number three, unless your university, there's no chance, go get a part time job doing something so that you have work experience. There's so many jobs inside um, a university you can do, student jobs. All of those can be turned into experience. No, they are not industry experience, but those are ways to get it. So I would try to build your resume before you're a senior looking for a job. However, failing that, I would be really honest and I would speak about the experience I do have. And you talk about open source or personal projects, I would use those productively. I would use them specifically uh, as a way to tell a story. And so, for example, most people who watch the channel a lot know my producer, Awesome Dave, who's in chat tonight, recently got a new job. I announced that. But he's a good friend of mine. And one of the things we did is he was completing a sabbatical and we needed to make his resume look alive. And so he added to LinkedIn that he was working as the producer on Easy Coach. And then he had a good story about how he built the question overlay, which you can think of as an open source project. But he told a story with the assets he had. So he took the open source project, in this case, building the extension we use for questions, and he turned that into a story of how during his sabbatical, he was helping a good friend, me, launch a passion project, the Easy Coach. Thank you all for watching. I do this to try and help, and I appreciate you being here so that there's an audience that benefits and you benefit from the things I've learned the hard way, and I'm hoping you don't have to. But you have to think through your stories. Do you have some tips here for students who don't have actual industry experience? You're going to have to use your course projects, things you've done in part-time jobs, things you've used done in student jobs. You're going to have to do your best with those. The other thing I would say is most big companies have a different student interviewing process. For example, a lot of the Amazon process at this point for some types of jobs is completely automated. You take a series of screening tests. So this may not be as relevant. The other thing that's always good, and it's not about how to interview, but go through someone who knows you. Meaning, go through an older student, try and get in contact with alumni that are already working somewhere. Try to find an in so that people have context and they can say, look, he hasn't had a lot of chance or she hasn't had a lot of chance to do this job, but here's how their coursework applies or here's what the school teaches. Try and get around